And, there was a moment where I was playing defense against Cade, and he went to the hole, and I got elbowed in the face, like the first possession.
Flagrant elbow.
That was, a welcome to NBA moment.
What's up, Piston fans? It's your boy Flagrant Elbow back with another one. Thank you all for tuning in, checking out the channel. If your first time checking it out, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also hit that bell icon to be notified when new videos come out. Like goal for this video was 20 likes. Let's get 20 likes. And once again, if you haven't subscribed, let's hit that subscribe button. We're at 639 subscribers. I thank all of you for hanging in there and rocking with your boy Flagrant Elbow and these Detroit Pistons. So we're going to talk about the Pistons-Clippers game, some things I liked, some things I didn't like. But overall, I don't feel bad about that loss. I'll tell you why in the video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. That game was a tremendous loss for the Detroit Pistons. There was a lot of good things I saw in that game, though. You can see Duren becoming Duren. His game is improving game by game. A lot of us didn't think that he would be even starting this soon. But he's out there starting, and he's out there showing that he can be a starter in this league. The one thing with Duren, though, that I want him to work on, and I know he will improve on, is when he is rebounding, strengthening those hands and grabbing that ball, putting that vice grip on that ball when you got it. Sometimes he's kind of light-handed, and he loses the ball. Trying to grab it with one hand and slap it into the other one, he loses the ball, or he loses passes sometimes. So he's got to strengthen those hands. I don't think he has a small hand issue. Remember Thon Maker used to have that small hand issue. I don't think he has a small hand issue as much as I think it's just he's got to recognize that people are going to be slapping and swatting at that ball. So when he goes in there and gets it, if he touches it, he's got to secure that ball. Go in there and manhandle that ball when you get it. And also another thing is quit taking the ball down low. Keep the ball up high in the paint. Grab it high, dunk it high. Grab it high, dunk it high. So those are some things I think he can improve on. But overall, I was looking at some of his stats. Since being a starter, his free throw percentage has improved. I think he was at almost 50%. He's at like 75% now. And he's got a nice rhythm. He's got a nice game to him in the paint. He's boxing out. He's already getting rebounds galore. So he's who we've been needing, and he's who we've hoped he would turn out to be as we drafted him. And he's, once again, only 19 years old. But man, he's really been looking good out there. To be starting and playing against starting centers, he's really been looking good. Now, the whole team did their thing yesterday. Ivy's playing more and more controlled, not running in there full speed and losing touch with what he needs to do next, or not having a plan B. He seems to be playing a lot more under control, so I like that about Ivy as he's growing. And that game showed a lot of things with the Pistons. Overall, their scrappiness and how with intensity they can still be in the game regardless of who they playing against. Kawhi Leonard didn't play, but so what? Pistons, we don't have Cade Cunningham, Livers, or Bagley last night. So with the team we had, playing scrappy is going to have to be the name of the game for these Pistons. That's going to have to be their identity. They're not going to win games just on talent alone because they lack talent. But being as young as they are, they have the ability to go in there and play full throttle at all times, especially on the defensive end. And they showed that early in the game. Basically throughout the whole game, the hands was on everything. Getting passes, deflections, fast breaks. And that's what you want to see from this team. Not just settling for threes. Sometimes they throw the ball inside and kick it back out for a lower percentage shot and relying on threes. Now, yesterday they shot a lot of threes, but the threes were going in. So that was good. And not to mention, we're not going to say the Clippers are known for their defense. A lot of times when you play West Coast teams, you get a little break from a defensive intensity from the other team. And usually it's high scoring games on both ends. But the Pistons, they showed up yesterday, man. They did real good as far as the offensive flow. Moving the ball, getting those assists. I don't have stats in front of me right now, but getting those assists. And everybody just playing ball. Bojan Bogdanovic, he looks like to me like he's getting tired. this is an increased role for him. He's the number one option a lot of times on the team, trying to create. He didn't turn the ball over as much yesterday, but he had a couple turnovers. But he was sometimes you can be relied on too much and try to do too much, and that will wear you down over the course of a season. And what I'm looking at from Bojan is, to me, it just looks like he's tired. It just looks like he's tired. He's being asked to do a lot, and he wants to win, regardless of the perception of a 2 or 3 year window that the Pistons are in for their restore. Bojan wants to win every game, and you can tell because he's out there fighting, and sometimes he's out there trying to do too much. And he kind of just looked tired yesterday. Alec Burks, you could tell Burks wants to win. He had a turnover or two, but he's trying to not do too much because he's coming off the bench. But he's definitely out there doing his thing, trying to score and trying to win, trying to corral this team and win too. That's one of the reasons I personally feel that Bojan off the bench would be more effective. But, we got to have somebody that's willing to step up and take his spot in the starting lineup. So that's to be continued as the season goes on. Hopefully Saddiq Bey can find himself and be restored to the starting lineup. But until then, Bojan is going to have to be it. But I think him and Burks coming off the bench, man, that'll provide a nice 1-2 punch, some good scoring. And I think that will be effective down the line. Maybe next season if we keep him and we draft another forward. I even seen some conversation about Cade going to the 3. It'll be nice. It's a lot of options the Pistons have. But I just think to be effective at his age, Bojan coming off the bench, not being relied on to be the number one option, running with starters and getting starter minutes, I think he'll be more effective that way, especially with his shots falling. His shots haven't been falling like they normally were as of late. So another person, Killian Hayes, is really looking good. This is the new Killian Hayes that we're looking at. So I like what I see. Killian takes over. He's hitting clutch shots, clutch free throws, although he did miss one in regulation that we wish would have dropped. But Killian's taking over games, and he's really confident. Cade being out is really helping this team in so many ways. Of course, we want to see Cade play, but he's going to be better, I think, next season. And it just allows Killian to fully develop like he's doing. Jaden Ivey, too, fully developed without Cade being in the lineup. And one thing I like that Casey was doing, I think was huge, is using Killian and Ivey together at times, and then also individually to run different units. I liked Ivey with the ball in his hands. I like that. He gives teams another look. They have to watch him on his penetration. He gets out on fast breaks, but it keeps the pedal pressed to the floor all game long with both of them out there. I was so glad not to see Corey Joseph get off the bench. I was so glad not to see that. So Casey did a good job with that, as he has done with Beef Stew and Durham, keeping one of them on the floor at all times. Now, he had to make some adjustments because Bagley was out, but he's doing a good job with managing both of those guys. And I think this is going to be priceless for Durham to get out there and get this experience this early in this season. I cannot wait to see what he's going to do with it next season and beyond. So Casey did pretty good with the coaching yesterday. Personnel-wise, I do think he could have did something better to stop the run when the bleeding took place late in the fourth quarter. When those bench players got in there for the Clippers, coming in, they're going to be scrappy. They trying to win positions, stay on the team. They coming in there scrapping. And that's what the first unit from the Clippers was lacking, was intensity. They were playing like they were tired. But I think the Pistons, by letting them get in there and get into a flow, they went on that, 13-1 run to close the fourth quarter out. That game was supposed to be won by the Pistons. And I think the Pistons kind of took their foot off the pedal, thinking that it would be won. So that's why I think that this game was not as bad of a loss as it may be to some people. To me, it's a good learning experience. You need to get hit in the mouth sometime, even when you think you're winning the fight. You need to get hit in the mouth, and the Pistons really needed that, because this is the NBA. This is not practice. This is not Rico Hines. You need to get out there and play to the regulation bell whistles, to the regulation bell sounds, till the buzzer goes off. You got to play the full 48 minutes. And the Pistons didn't do that. The Pistons did not do that, and it cost them that game last night. It's nowhere in the world they should have got pushed to overtime. Casey should have stopped that game. I think he used up all his timeouts though at one point and didn't have any more left. But I just feel like he could have did better with managing what was going on, instead of letting the bleeding just take place and just overrun the Pistons. Man, that was horrible. So in watching that game, I think it was a well-deserved lesson for this Pistons team, and they needed to see that. They needed to get hit in the mouth like that to be reminded that this is the NBA and you have to play to the finish. You can't just rely on the talent and we got momentum. Momentum will change. The NBA is a game of runs, and that's what the Pistons needed to do. They needed to see that. They needed to see that. So Killian and Ivy, they're going to have to learn how to close games out. Get to the free throw line. When teams go on runs, quit settling for threes. If we still up, we don't need to keep shooting threes. There's no need to. Get to the free throw line. Push the ball inside. It's just like football game. Minutes are going down. Closing minutes of a quarter, of a game, of a half. You don't need to be throwing passes, and we up. Run that ball. Run that ball right through their guts. So the Pistons, they're going to have to learn time management and I think they'll be more successful, but they need a game like this in order to learn how to close games out. So I was happy with that altogether for them to be able to lose this way. Sometimes you want them to lose ugly so that they can learn for the long haul. We're not looking for the Pistons to make the playoffs this season, to make the finals. It would be good. It'll be nice. But they still got a little time to go. They got a little ways to go. We just want to see competitive basketball. Did we see competitive basketball yesterday? Yes, we did. Yes, we did, for 3.5 quarters. They came out the third quarter and still was rolling. So they getting better. We saw competitive basketball for 3.5 quarters. So I was pleased with that. Hated that we lost. I had made a thumbnail already for the Pistons winning the game. I had to scratch that. But I hated that they lost. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. They get up, and how you gonna respond with the next game? So we will see, won't we? That's all I had. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't have any stats out in front of me, but I did want to comment on the game. Hope you all enjoyed the content. If you did and you agree with what I'm saying, man, leave it in the comments. If you just agree that the Pistons played a good game and that they'll continue to grow, they were competitive, hit the like button. Hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. It's your boy Flagrant Elbow. I'm about to check out. Don't forget to check the link in the description for merch. It helps the channel out. I will receive a commission for anything purchased. With that being said, everybody, stay safe.